It's been a long and steady process, but it looks like 2024 will be the year that MELD finally finds its footing, not only on their own L1, but within the greater blockchain and crypto space. They've just released a brand new roadmap for 2024, and it looks like their lending and borrowing on their own L1 is right around the corner. On top of that, there's a secret announcement that I was able to track down, which I think is a key indicator of potential adoption in liquidity. So as a part of today's video, sit back and enjoy the updates. What's up, MELD Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central. My name is Fareed. As a part of today's video, I've got 4 major updates that I want to go ahead and share with you guys surrounding the MELD L1, as well as just the progress surrounding their protocol. First things first, I want to talk about staking. We've got a couple new nodes online, and there's also a brand new X page that you can follow in order to stay updated when it comes to this entire process. Next, we've got a brand new blockchain explorer going live on the MELD L1 with quite a few features, and there's also 2 types of coins, or 2 types of tokens that I want to go ahead and highlight. Following that, there's a new integration with Supra or an Oracle provider. And then last but not least, we've got the brand new vision or the brand new roadmap for MELD in terms of what they're going to be focusing on for the year of 2024. As always, if you guys do enjoy updates like these surrounding MELD, make sure to go ahead and smash that thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by Dapp Central, consider subscribing for more content just like this. And last but not least, if you have any questions for me surrounding MELD, then make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below. Jumping into the first topic for today's video, we're going to be talking about MELD staking. So around the Christmas timeline, we saw MELD launch their own native L1 staking, which allows for you to stake MELD on their Avalanche subnet, which also allows for you to also stake ADA on the Cardano network. So we've got a brand new update here when it comes to staking. And since then, we've got 8 epochs that have passed with over 22 nodes online. Again, make sure to go ahead and head over to nodes.meld.com in order to stay updated whenever there's a brand new node that's launched. What's interesting is that to date, there's not been a time where these pools have not been full. Anytime that a brand new pool comes online, it's immediately filled up. Again, really showing that there's high demand for staking right now on MELD. Now, if you're trying to get an advantage or an edge, there is an official MELD staking X page, which you can access. Actually, if I jump back to the notes page here, you can click on this link here, or on that icon, and that will open up the MELD staking page. You want to make sure to go ahead and follow this particular page and turn on notifications. That way you're always aware as soon as a brand new pool or a brand new node operator comes online and is looking for that delegation. Again, with every single pool that's launched since the inception of staking, these have been full, couple of hours after new pools are launching. So one thing I want to kick things off here, which is with a brief update of the actual staking and how things are going. We saw about 6 new pools being added within the last week and a half alone. And if I recall correctly, the team is aiming to provide at least 100 or so nodes before kind of capping things out. And very last but not least, if I'm not mistaken as well, I think MELD might actually be one of the highest operating, or one of the blockchains with the highest operating nodes when it comes to Avalanche subnet. So congrats to the MELD team. Staking has been a blast. Staking has been a huge talking point. And again, if you're looking to jump into that, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to that X page. Now on to brand new updates. Next, I want to talk about the MELD Blockchain Explorer, which has officially gone live. So it's dubbed MELDscan. It states here, MELD chain is now open to explore. With MELDscan, you can now see transactions and wallets. You can also review on-chain data and analytics, and then you can also read and write and interact with smart contracts directly for their platform or directly from their platform. Last but not least, they mentioned a search for a hidden treasure. And I think I may have actually found what that particular treasure is. So if you want to head over to the official website, it's available at meldscan.io. From here, you're actually presented with an overview of just the recent transactions, just by default and very similar to some of the chain explorers that we're expected or familiar with on Cardano. We've got the ability to search by address, transaction hash, block, or by a specific token. Right below that, we've got all the current blocks which have been minted on the network. We've got the average time that each block is minted in, the total number of transactions, wallets, and their gas tracker. Right below that, we've got the daily amount of transactions, followed by interesting information with respect to latest transactions as well. Now, if you want to dive into this a little bit deeper, they have a specific block page that breaks down all the information on each block that is minted on the network, followed by top accounts, and then by verified contracts. Now, the interesting piece is going to be within the token section itself. So we can see that already there's been quite a few tokens that have been minted on the MELD network. Now, I believe the MELD-20 standard is going to be for fungible tokens, whereas the MELD 721 standard will be the standard for NFTs that are minted on the MELD L1. Taking a quick break here, the MELD team, I believe, is working on not only getting their first ever DEX to allow trading for those fungible tokens, they're also, I believe, working to get a marketplace in order to facilitate trading of NFTs as well. So the team is thinking about both of these aspects when it comes to trading of fungible tokens and when it comes to trading of non-fungible tokens, which is that 721 standard. Now, jumping back in here, I did mention that there is a hidden treasure that I think I found here, but just want to quickly highlight how many current tokens have actually been created here on the MELD L1. Now, one of the biggest things that's going on right now in the Cardano community is an ongoing conversation surrounding stablecoins. So I just took a second just to actually type in a pretty standard stablecoin here, which is going to be USD. And when you type in USD, you're presented with two separate assets here. One is going to be USD coin or USDC, which the Cardano community's been having quite a chat about, followed by Tether or USDT. And so both of the most adopted stable coins do appear to be on the MELD L1. If I go and actually open this up in a separate tab, we can confirm that it is a MELD-20 fungible token. And I was able to confirm with the team that this, in fact, is a representation of USDC on the MELD L1. Now, one thing to note about the USDT and the USDC on the MELD network right now, as it stands, is that there isn't a lot of it floating around. So if I jump back into MELDscan here, we have USDC. And as we can see, we have about 3 separate holders right now. If I get myself out of the way, we got one holder holding about 49 USDC, followed by another wallet holding about 2, and then a very last one holding 0.02. Now, what's interesting is that there is a max supply of 51 million USDC. Very similarly, if we take a look at USDT, there's 57 million as the max supply. However, there's only 2 wallets right now holding any of it. One holding about 49 USDT tokens, and then another one holding about 8.0. Now, I took a look at the actual max supply for the MELD token, right? Which this appears to be a lot more than what we're expecting, which should be 4 billion for their max supply. So I'm not sure if there's something up with the actual max supply here, or maybe I'm just reading it incorrectly. But as you guys can see here, I mean, this is much larger than the total supply that we would expect for the MELD token. And then jumping back over here, we have these 2 values here for USDT and USDC. Nonetheless, though, the tokens are there, they are present, which is a really positive sign here, again, that the MELD team is able to onboard 2 of the biggest stable coins onto their protocol at this early stage. And I want to reiterate, yes, MELD has branched out to build their own L1, which has kind of stigmatize them or put them to the side when it comes to the Cardano community. But this is actually the advantage, right, of being able to build on an EVM network, being able to get liquidity from these big providers like Tether, like Circle immediately, as opposed to having to somewhat wait or build something in-house like we're seeing right now with Cardano. So shout out to the MELD team. Again, make sure to go ahead and check out their block explorer. The very last thing I want to just quickly highlight is the fact that they do have a page for charts and stats. So from here, again, you get a recap of the total blocks, the average time, accounts, and transactions. But if you want a more visual approach to things, you can actually see how well the MELD blockchain is performing. So it does look like since their official launch, there's just been a continued increase in the total amount of accounts actually opening up on the MELD network, followed by an increase as well as just with respect to transactions. And then last but not least, blocks just continue to be minted on a regular schedule. And then with respect to their gas usage, that is continuing to grow as well. One last thing I want to highlight here is going to be the amount of smart contracts deployed on the MELD network. So as it stands right now, if I'm not mistaken, there's a total of 260 smart contracts developed and deployed on the MELD mainnet. So huge shout out to the team here. They continue to grow, and this is just the very beginning, right? So that will do it there for that particular update surrounding the MELD Explorer. Jumping over, I want to talk about a brand new partnership that has been struck by the MELD team with one of the largest providers in terms of Oracle or off-chain data to bring it on-chain with respect to EVM networks. So it states here, data.onchain. So jumping over to this next tab here, it states Supra Oracles on MELD. This is going to be the first Oracle on the MELD L1, providing decentralized price feeds that can be used for on-chain and off-chain data. If you guys are not aware, which, I mean, it's a pretty simple concept, but it is one that a lot of projects have to deal with something like MELD, when they're taking a look at price values, for example, the value of the MELD token, the value of Ethereum, the value of Cardano, in order to make sure that that's accurate within their actual application or their lending and borrowing protocol, they have to get that data from another third-party provider. In this case, that's going to be Supra Oracles. This is going to be the equivalent of Charlie 3 or OrcFacts on Cardano, which it's their job to grab off-chain data, make sure to bring that on-chain in a secure, permissionless, and also transparent manner. So if I jump over to the official website for Supra Oracles, I want to quickly highlight a few things here. Specifically when it comes to the projects that they're dealing with. So right now they're providing Oracle data for Aptos, Arbitrum, Aurora, Avalanche, the Base network, which is the official network put out by Coinbase, BNB chain, and then we've also got the addition of MELD down here as well. So this particular team, Supra or Supra Oracles, does appear to be very well vetted. They've got pretty big brand recognition, and they've also got pretty big partners working with or that they're providing data for. So I wanted to highlight that there. It would be interesting to see exactly, how this relationship grows and if MELD also gets additional oracles, right? Because again, it's great to have one oracle, but it never hurts to have more oracles in case that one goes down or in case that one gives you faulty or inaccurate data. The very last thing I want to jump into as a part of today's MELD update will be surrounding their brand new 2024 roadmap. So if you guys jump over to the official MELD website, which is available at MELD.com, they have updated their roadmap section to include all their achievements from 2021 all the way to 2024. Now, just to show you guys, so you can go ahead and expand some of these 2021 achievements. I'm not going to harp on those too much. Again, even on the left-hand side, they're leading till the end of 2023. Look at how much was actually completed by the MELD team. Most recently, we have the completion of the MELD Blockchain Explorer and their integration with Supra Oracles. Now, if we scroll over to the right-hand side, we've got the in development section, and there's a couple of things that really have stood out that I want to go ahead and highlight here as well. So we've got the MELD Dev Docs release. It's pretty simple, development documentation for anybody who's looking to get more of a technical feel or more of a technical understanding of what MELD is providing. We've also got a secret MELD product number 1, which appears to be almost at its completion stage. So I, as an ambassador, have no clue what this is actually about, but I would love to hear more about this, and I'll definitely be making sure to poke the team, right, anytime that I do have an opportunity or anytime that I bring them on here for future interviews on the channel. We've got the MELD L1 lending and borrowing testnet. So the MELD team did already launch their lending and borrowing on Cardano. That was done about a year ago. And since then, we saw so many upgrades coming on to that particular platform. Now, they did have a hiccup with a potential issue, which is how Cardano works right now, and just how the liquidations would occur on Cardano. And so right now, the MELD L1, or excuse me, the MELD lending and borrowing is paused on Cardano, but they're going to be pushing forward to release it on their L1 on the testnet. Right below that, we've got the MELD app, mobile cross-chain crypto swap. So it looks like we'll be able to perform crypto swaps, right? Utilizing some sort of DEX aggregator, some sort of collaboration with the DEX in order to actually make swaps directly within the MELD app or the MELD wallet. Now, this is not just for the browser version. It looks like it'll be for the mobile as well. Right below that, we've got the first ISPO project to launch on MELD. So very similar concept to just the ISPO process on Cardano, where you're able to delegate your tokens. In this case, I would assume it'd be MELD to a particular node operator. And as long as the project that is distributing their tokens through the ISPO mechanism has confirmed or has partnered with the node operator that you're delegating to, you're able to earn their token, right, in exchange for some of your MELD token rewards. So again, very similar process to how the ISPOs work here on Cardano. And then right below that, we've got support for 3 new blockchains. So we've got support for Polygon or Matic, we've got support for BNB, and then we've also got support for Bitcoin. Right below that, we've got MELD DAO governance, which appears to be in its latter stages. Hopefully we get that very soon. And then another interesting thing to point out here is the MELD on-ramp and off-ramp integration. In addition to that, we've got the MELD neobank, which appears to be in the works as well. So I believe that the on-ramp and off-ramp will be somewhat tied or closely tied to their neobank launch. If you guys don't recall, the team did have a minor stumble when one of their partners, which was supposed to be tag teaming their adoption for their EMI license or the application for the EMI license, had actually pulled out. Since then, the MELD team has been very careful to not provide any specific dates as to when they plan on obtaining their neobank license or their EMI license, but it does seem like there is something going on in the works. Again, just taking a look at some of these progress bars here on the roadmap. Scrolling down, we've got the MELD name service. So this appears to be very similar to the ENS or Ethereum naming service, which is a domain naming system built on the Ethereum blockchain. Simply put, this allows for your randomly generated wallet addresses, for example, in this case on the MELD network, to be converted to something that is human readable. This is going to be very similar to what we see with ADA handles on Cardano, where instead of providing somebody your long 20 or 30 digit, wallet address, you can just provide them Dapp.central or Dapp Central, and that will actually route over into that particular wallet address. So it looks like the MELD team is working on a name service as well. Right below that, we've got progress for their gasless transactions. And then we've got the MELD L1 lending and borrowing mainnet. So again, the testnet should be rolling out hopefully soon, followed by the implementation of the launch on the mainnet. Now, towards the very bottom there, we've got support for the MELD app on Android devices. Right now, if you are a Diamond Hand holder and you live outside the United States, you can go ahead and get access to the MELD app right now, and that is just for iPhones. So make sure to go ahead, if you have a Diamond Hand, which is one of their 4,600 NFTs on Cardano right now, to jump into their Diamond Hand Discord chat and go ahead and make sure to sign up for being introduced as a part of the future cohorts when it comes to testing their mobile application right now on iOS. Now, towards the very bottom there, we've got an additional secret MELD product. Again, I have no clue what that is as an ambassador. And then we've got structured products in the MELD app, and that I think is focusing on DeFi yield strategies. One thing that I did not mention, which was highlighted up here, is the tokenized real-world asset yield offered by MELD. It seems like RWAs has been a huge talking point, not only just with respect to MELD, but just within Cardano and blockchain. I recently talked to Patrick Tobler from NMaker. He's putting together a team with Tim and Matteo from Fluid Tokens for a platform called Finest, which will be dealing specifically with RWAs. Emergo's mentioned that, moving forward, that they want to have a huge focus on RWAs, in Cardano. But it looks like MELD is also tapping into RWAs here with the mention of yield being offered by tokenized real world assets. So quite a bit to speculate on here. There's just so much that I can probably create content about, but to recap, some of the biggest updates here, we've got 6 new nodes, right? When it comes to staking, make sure to follow that X page. With respect to their Explorer, we highlighted how you can go ahead and basically verify all of the transactions and just how well the network is performing. And then we also talked about the fact that we have USDT and USDC, right? Over $100 million worth of tokens on the MELD L1 already, followed by their integration of Supra. And then last but not least, we just took a look at the roadmap. So that will do it here for the updates surrounding the MELD protocol. They've continued to build. I believe they'll continue to build. 2024 looks like could be the huge year where we have MELD really kind of breaking out, getting everything in order. The community has been very patient with them, myself included, but it does seem like they are delivering. So I wanted to provide you guys with this particular update here. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Let me also know what is your favorite piece of this particular update. For me personally, it's the fact that we already have USDC and USDT live on the MELD L1. It's just a matter of distributing that and then getting a DEX, for example, like I believe it's going to be called Azomi, live to actually begin or to facilitate the trading and swapping of those assets on the MELD L1. That I think is definitely going to be a huge attraction to anybody looking to join the MELD ecosystem. That said, that will do it here for today's video. As always, if you guys found this to be helpful, if you learned anything along the way, I would appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by Dapp Central and you want more content like this, consider subscribing. And last but not least, if you have any questions for me surrounding MELD, then make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below. That said, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video.